Let's talk about rule number one for dealing with millennials in the workplace. Most of what you've heard about millennials is wrong. It's wrong in the same way that adult men are 5 feet 10 inches tall. That's certainly the average height, but it's not me, nor are most of my friends. We're either shorter or taller because averages are always kind of wrong. And advice about millennials is kind of wrong. I'm Dr. Bill Connerly, economist and business consultant. This is another video in my series, Leadership in Today's Tight Labor Market. Let's talk about the number one rule for working with and supervising millennials. Are millennials more interested than other generations in purpose and doing good? Sure, on average. Opportunity to learn on the job? Yeah, some of them. Autonomy combined with feedback? Plenty of them. But not all. There are about 75 million people in the millennial generation. Can you imagine 75 million people with identical hopes and aspirations, identical fears and anxieties, identical desire for human companionship versus free time alone, identical balance of self-interest versus concern for others? When I was in high school, my buddy John and I double dated with a pair of identical twins. But those two girls were different, each unique in her own way. And the experts say we've got 75 million carbon copies in the millennial generation. So rule number one for working with millennials is simple. Treat everyone as an individual. Understand the person's goals. Figure out how best to use this person's abilities. Coach for career development that reflects the millennial's individual uniqueness. One size does not fit all for millennials, just as it really never did for baby boomers or Gen X. The best advice for managing millennials also works pretty well for other generations. Broad generalizations are useful a little, and I'll talk about them in the next video. But one last thing to keep in mind, millennials are getting older. The median millennial will soon turn 28 years old. And 28 is hugely older than 23. Anything you figured out back in 2013 about dealing with a 23-year-old probably won't work with that same person at 28 years old. Since generational generalities are so hard, rely on rule number one. Treat everyone as an individual. I'm Dr. Bill Connerly. Thanks for watching and subscribe to my YouTube channel.